People ask me all the time, what are those lights in the background of your portraits? And so today, guys, I want to share with you what those lights are, how much they cost, and where you can get them. Now, you'll be surprised to know that they're actually a lot cheaper than most people think. So before we get started, let's just cover a little bit of housekeeping. These lights are extremely bright and they get really hot. So in order to put them in the picture, I will shoot at a 200th of a second at f11 at 100 ISO. That way, when the light strikes your subject, it won't be so bright that their skin will be totally blown out. And what also won't be blown out is the lens on the front of the light. Now, sure, you're gonna lose a little bit of detail there, but if you were to shoot at f8 or 5.6 or God forbid f4, that lens would be just a white circle and it would look really bad. So a 200th at f11 isn't perfect, but it does preserve a lot of detail in there. So let's go over each light one at a time. Over my left shoulder on the far left is a Mole-Richardson 412. This is a 2K Fresnel, or a 2000 watt light. It's the brightest one that I have. It's also probably the brightest one that you can plug into the wall at home. And I think that's what matters the most. They do make bigger lights. They make 5,000 and 10,000 and I don't know, 100,000 watt lights, which are great, I guess, if you're making a movie, but they're pretty useless if you're trying to use them in your studio. So if you go above 2,000 watts, you're probably not going to be able to plug them in. The other thing is that the 5,000 watt light is not a lot bigger than the 2,000 watt light. So even if you could plug it in, you wouldn't be getting a nicer prop. So more importantly, how much does it cost? So that particular light you can pick up used for between $175 and $250 delivered on eBay, or you could maybe pick it up on Craigslist as well. I actually did find one on there one time, and of course if you live like in New York or Los Angeles, I'm sure you can find them on there all of the time. But if you live everywhere else, eBay is a great place to find them. And you also will find them a lot of the times people will be trying to sell them for $600 or $1,000, and they're just trying to cash in thinking that somebody's buying Hollywood memorabilia. So just wait and you'll find one at the right price. The light next to it, the one that's illuminated in the background, is a Mole-Richardson 407. That's a 1,000 watt light. The one in particular that's behind me, somebody turned it into a lamp. And I bought it on eBay not knowing this, and when it arrived, I was like, what the hell? But actually, it turns out to be okay. So when I use it in a photo, I'm using a 300 watt incandescent bulb. The one that you can find anywhere that you could at the hardware store. You just have to buy the biggest one that they have, the highest wattage light bulb that they have. But it's just a standard bulb that you would use in your house. Right now, I've got a 60 or a 100 watt bulb in there. I'm not sure because it's like one of those antique styled ones and it doesn't say anymore, or it never said what the wattage was. But I think that's how bright it is. And that works out well for a video. It would work out pretty poorly, I think, for a photo, unless of course you were shooting at like, I don't know, a 60th at 1.4 or something, but that's neither here nor there. Now, if you go on eBay, you'll be able to find this light for about $175. One that hasn't been turned into a lamp, that still has the 1,000 watt bulb, and it'll work out great in a portrait. It's basically just big enough to work. They have other lights that are 650 watts and 300 watt Fresnels that are on there. You'll see them on eBay, but I just don't think they're big enough or bright enough to practically use in a picture or make any sort of impact. There are other people that made lights similar to this that you'll see on eBay as well. If you're just looking in the movie, I think it's just called continuous light fixtures, I think is the category. And they do look kind of cool. I've seen some green ones, but they're rather rare, and this one is very common. It has to be like the most common one that people are using for filmmaking. Another light that you see me use sometimes is a 2000 watt zip light or soft light. Actually, I think both of those words are in the title. It's a 2000 watt light that sort of looks like a scoop, and then it has an egg crate on the front of it. I'm pretty sure that the original usage for this light was to light a green screen or maybe a white background. It makes kind of a cool prop, and I think it worked out well when I had it, but mine stopped working all of a sudden, and I was able to sell it on eBay as parts only. I think I picked it up and had it, I think I bought it and had it delivered for about $100. And I think I sold it not working for about 50 bucks, so I guess that worked out okay for me. Another thing Mole-Richardson makes are light stands. The 2000 watt 412 2K actually needs something called a junior stand. Now, a junior stand has a female receiver that the light slides into. Don't make me act it out because I think I might get a adult rating. That's sort of the opposite of what we're used to as photographers, where we just have a pin that goes into the bottom of the light. Oh, see, I did it. Now I'm gonna get in trouble. So I'll stop being sophomoric. So the 412 slides into the light stand, and that is a junior stand that is a female receiver. And you can get these from Mole-Richardson. They come in that signature Mole-Richardson maroon color. You can also get them from Matthews, but they're gonna be shiny, and I don't think that's really a good choice visually. I've done that before, I've used them, but it's not really ideal. And that stand that I have back there, and the stand that I use almost all the time with that light, is about $200. Again, you'll have to wait and find one that somebody's selling. If you don't want to use a stand, you can sit them on the floor or on an apple box. I always make sure that if I'm putting them on a floor or something nice, that I use a pot holder, because I'm just paranoid that I'm going to end up melting the veneer or burning the floor or something. I don't know if you need to, but I guess it doesn't hurt to be paranoid sometimes. The other stand you might want to get, the 407, of course, goes on a baby stand. It slides over the front of it. Just a regular photo stand, but Mole-Richardson did make rolling baby stands, and they look really cool. I actually use them for my backdrops most of the time, but I will use them on occasion with the 407, and you can pick those up for about $175, or about the same cost as the light. I think they look pretty cool and add a lot more character to the shot. It's a big difference using that than a modern day aluminum light stand, and it sort of kills the mood, I think. Anyway, guys, hope all of this helps. If you have any questions, please comment below and I will get back to you.